Today I'm speaking with my friend, actor Joseph Ste-Marie, about his new online play, This Show is Broken, currently playing at the Montreal Fringe Festival. What could you tell me about This Show is Broken?
This show is broken is a scripted improvised experiment where all the dialogue in this piece is improvised. Basically, this is a show within a show where I play myself trying to create a show, and I discover that it's harder than I think it is, and I'm trying to fix my script. And in between, you see the actual show and me trying to improve the script. And basically, it's a online production, filmed in high definition, and it's a 4-minute piece. And basically, it's a very personal piece, something that I decided to do myself. Originally, this was supposed to be more scripted like last year, but I opted to put it to the side, or at least mix premises of this premise and of the original production I did in 2015 at the Short Standing Festival, where basically it was me doing a show and I was entering a rehearsal hall and all of a sudden there's an audience. Then a stage manager tells me I'm going to do a show, and I did. And that was basically about myself, my journey in life, and going towards theater school. And this is more still the same thing, but this was or is about my journey as an artist going towards theater school and a little bit of like a postscript in the end in a way.
What has the process been like to create this play?
Basically like creating a film, which I've never really done before, at least not in this scale or at this scale. And basically I had to really be mindful of the COVID protocols and everything else because we're still in the pandemic. So I had to be aware about that. So basically I shot with two cameras, my Canon 80D and Canon 60D, and I bought a audio recorder for this. And basically, what I did was I filmed in the freestanding room, but also in my apartment here, in the little corner there, my little like studio space, quote unquote. And basically, it was a lot of work because obviously with the script improvised experiment, there's only an outline. There's no dialogue, like I said. So basically, I would have a list of things I want to talk about, and we cover them. Well, I cover them, but also with the scenes with Shane McCall, who plays the director. There's a lot of stuff that we cover in that. So we had go through an outline of like what to talk about, what the scene should be about, and then we do the scene and shoot it. And obviously, it could be a bit of a challenge because obviously, like you have to go with the flow and everything else. You do a few takes, but each take is different. Like it won't sound the same like a regular scripted production. So I just like the challenge was, especially in the monologue scenes, was really keeping track of what I say and what I cover because I could really do a good take, but also mess up a few other takes. So that could really not so much mess things up, but for the editing process, it's a big job and something that kind of learned through this process is always give yourself more time to edit. With the deadlines of the fringe, I kind of like it was a bit of a time squeeze, but but for me it was a lot of fun.
How has creating an online play like this been different than creating one for the theater?
Here, for an online show, it is like a film. I'm basically making a movie. At least in the way that I did it, I kind of created a film. So basically, it's not like filming an actual like play, because obviously, like that would have to be done through in one take in many ways. But for here, because I had a lot of time and I shot this within a month and a half, give or take. So basically, like there were a lot of reshoots. So like a lot of time working by myself and finding time to work with my fellow actors, Shane and Thomas, who helped me out in this. So finding time for that. So basically, it was a very fast process. But the major difference is obviously like you could really be subtle in the dialogue. and a lot of structure. And obviously, like when you have the camera on you, you're staying in one place. You have to stay in one place. It's not like in a big stage where you can't really explore the space, so move around. So that was obviously a major difference. So it's basically similar to how you make a movie and just how you obviously how you are on stage. So basically, like I said, it's just making a movie.
What's it like to be writing a play that you're also producing and starring in? What were some of the challenges of doing that?
It's stressful, but the major difference is at this point now I've had more experience under my belt now because I did a show 10 years ago, which was the first time I ever done that, and that was insanely stressful. Like that had a lot of challenges here, there. But for like obviously with this process, it was a little bit easier. Like the scripted improvised format gives you a bit more. I'm trying to think of the term, maybe creative breather or creative space. But I feel like it's a little less stressful without a script. Just doing this improv, just doing it improv and just like see how it flows. So there's a bit of that less pressure to memorize lines. So like obviously I've gotten better at that, of course. I know how to do that, but at least I didn't have that pressure to be exact. It was more like go with the flow, see what happens, and that was a major difference between those things. But also with the producing, there wasn't too much to produce because I already had the equipment and obviously the space of freestanding room, which I, excuse me, booked a few times. But apart from that, most of the shots were shot at home. So basically, I would film like for hours at a time, sometimes until like 1 or 2 a.m. sometimes, and just like filming myself and shooting scenes of my monologue scenes. But basically, it it was more or less stressful. And plus, I with the directing part, since I was more in control of everything, I knew what I wanted. So I was dependent a little less on people. And especially with you can get away with that on the film side. So it's hard to say how it would be like when I go back on stage and do this.
What were some of the themes you were trying to explore in the play?
I just wanted to explore how we could be like very hard on ourselves because obviously, like any artist, no matter if it's an actor, musician, or painter, or um, singer, or any just any other media, any other artist, we all want to be successful. We all have high expectations, fixed expectations of what we thought we were going to get, and we could put too much pressure on ourselves. And those were some of the themes I wanted to explore in this, but also the fact that it's life is hard. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else to say, but that's more or less it.
Check below the video for details on how to see This Show is Broken.